Yeah. Upstairs. Oh, no.
So you're here for DRB. This is Selectboard.
Oh, hey, nice to talk to you. Where are we at? But it's one of those nights.
Yep. Now, okay,
We're all trying.
so the one on the right is the select board. And
Yep.
the other one's gone now anyway. So we only have the one and that is the select board. Michael Creighton end up in the right place or the wrong place?
I'm always in the right place, man.
Okay, thank you, Mike. I couldn't see your name there. Because
It is only letting me direct message Brandon in meeting chat though, which is weird. I can't figure out how to get out of it.
Okay, so have you heard the DRB meeting or the Selectboard meeting? Okay,
Yeah, all right. Was that door upstairs still open?
Yeah.
It sounds like that's gonna be noisy up there today. Much better.
Double.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Okay. With that, I'm gonna call the meeting to order at 6:37. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Aaron Kelly, did you lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Agenda review. Anybody have anything they want to either add or change on the agenda? Select board members. Okay. Agenda review. Motion for executive session, 1 VSA 313A1A, town manager contract. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to the provisions of section 1 BSA, section 313A1A to discuss the town manager's contract.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for executive session. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The executive session will include the presence of the town manager. And what are we doing? Where are we going?
You're upstairs in my office. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Okay.
There's reason for that.
Okay.
And that was. Six. And you all are at recess until we return.
Well, I'm ready to recess. I'm going to get research.
So your name face together.
What you do?
Huh? Neighborhood research.
Right now. Where that last time, they said it's there, she's over the news aid. But then because there was somebody's office from their cases. You'll get a guy with you know, related twice a year with the state. They say quick research, so it goes stress. Stress me, walk in and you. So. Hey.
Look like I met now it's not bad about the parking lot because I was there for Facebook busy selling something to someone related, but other than that, maybe they're 5 o'clock this evening.
There's
Drive down to the end just to check it out.
there's always people hanging out there all night. Problem is, it's, I think technically state property and getting them. So. Being that you actually get the state to admit that. is. Yeah. So.
Maybe just move on, so.
Stephen, is this the part where you admit to all kinds of criminal?
No, I shut up.
See, I'm sick of that up. I need to one meeting. Just one meeting.
It's not else to do in 1980. What was this? Probably like 92. Remember? You didn't have the internet. You didn't have an online game.
I remember my grandmother's first cell phone. You could have killed a moose with it. I mean, it was like this. You could hit it with a tank. It wouldn't. And then before that, she had one. It was like a bag that she carried.
Yep.
Simpler times. His bag.
Days going back to a flip phone sounds pretty good.
Going back to no phones.
Well, yeah, that's true. Trying to get hold of my father, and he, was something novel the other day. He's like, yeah, sometimes I just turn it off. I don't want to hear anybody calling me. I'm like, boy, turn something off. What a good idea.
This way ran. It looks like it's some of the same. So hopefully I submitted the request. You getting that right? Good. Yeah, you're right. Where? Pardon. I'm sure we, that's on, you back on.
That would be nice.
This morning, this is like, most pretty funny, like, I, fun, down, work. I had. It was out, be a lot more good, that's good, I don't know that, no, that was good. When I got at home. Hey, church fire. I heard, that was the issue. Why would they make this one? Oh, really? Not there. Fine, it's not.
Patience, did you get that complete? Is it too long, just get rid of the like introduction thing and just do the,
It's in the newsletter I posted.
not too long?
I summarized, posted, linked. It's
Thank you,
just look at the newsletter, you'll see what I mean.
okay. That works, thank you. That's good.
Thanks.
It's hard, though, isn't it? Sometimes you're trying
Well, yeah, I think, and,
to run it.
yeah, also, yeah, everybody likes switching, it's also the people that's on the phone, people don't think they want to cop to. Sometimes. But, they, what's like the, took me for the first station, yeah, I mean, especially just some nice, very saying. So this is what actually, this one actually looked arguing, but, yeah. It's, place on strawberries.
Wow.
Two piece, yeah, I got that, I take care of that with. But it's not an actual one, they put this on. Yeah. And.
It's good if you kind of need to actually hold that in your hand, so something that, oh, you, there's something to do.
And there's other stuff that's. I actually think we should show you one last thing, and that's nice and look, you can play part of the same. Sorry. That's all you need.
We go, yes.
Yeah, well, you got.
Wow.
Which are, you know, just like that's something we don't really take it down into, then it's not how you. They, their whole thing for bond, like you never know what's such, you know, it's about something to do with them.
Yeah, it's the thing is, because you just never know. And no, they're interesting. And I feel like, you know, you know, there's things that you really share with other people, but, and then it's just. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it too, right? Look, and absolute people, no character. Yeah, absolutely, there too, it's just going to, I'll go down that. I'll, he was born in Mexico, and so I go, it's just go face his parents, and so I go, it's still. I already did something easier, and she's like, here's something. It's like, oh, and you know, around the field to get out, really did Mexico. Only guess, so you know, it's always those. Circle makes it something rational. Yeah, no, yeah, they can actually remember every day we go to the area. He was elevated at much as further because you know. That well, the scratches of that's probably that city. Oh, so I know they know it was they great intention growth for Australia. I agree with it. So he has this, you know, so he's a very known looking guy with an Australian accent.
That what you expect, isn't it? What are your favorite ones? I don't think I've ever had enough to ask John, what's your favorite that you like to read? Your. Nice.
Just ask me every other day,
That's why you do what you do, right?
Yeah, because I'm off.
Mhm.
I think comments over there on Brian Basis. Oh, would you say? Oh. I tell them. You're wrong, she's.
I just say, I'm trying to. I don't know.
Yes, like. That's good. If I said, hey. No, there are letters she must have. I always think of letters she must try. It was part of the Asiatic squad. He graduated from Minneapolis. You can see this out there. I think he was posted first of all. On South America. Yeah, good work, good force. All these other people.
Well, that's so good.
That's actually the shit that certainly. Figure out, if you say, oh, and.
So it's not just.
It's not very well, it's the most interesting. Maybe two of the closest stuff. Yeah, sure. Yeah. There's a hole. And realities use my tool.
Yeah.
So I very, so smart, and a lot of souls on racism. There used to be now. This thing is actually. Yeah, right now. A lot of. Also, brings that in New Jersey, all these classes, he's done several major. Yeah. I put in background. I got a bunch of goes down on half of those. Oh, schoolhouse is still there.
For that exact reason.
Sherman traffic back.
I've heard you need doors this way, right?
Yeah, I feel funny though.
Right.
And so if you look very long, it just doesn't get down. You got stop, and that's never had an issue. It's like every time you turn around.
Oh my God, national treasure.
Narrow buyers of the law. So just.
In 64, they stopped sale. And it's 67.
It's not like those tabs are big, you get a piece of Western. This is the same clause.
You could also write about the end of the service, or he was something I would. I do respect him. So it's just going to come. Well, just, that's fine. Yeah, people feel like it's white. What's that? Yeah. There's a border on it.
I hope so.
Yeah. There's everybody going back to the theater. Yeah, it's your dad. Someone said, well, it's easy. I just don't know. You can probably talk about elbow. I did it on they were getting over maybe that. I was like, I'll give you right about close. I'm sure. Look around, you so the book that you wrote as guys, other guys. On because that tells it that there are more major rights we're talking about some of those guys. So that was a trouble. Yeah. I think from where I wrote or something like that. Got all this go. It's just gonna give him time. There's a ton of what's town goes. I said, you guys don't value this at all. Town, but they go those shuttles and you. Is the problem? What are we there? What's the over under? Town clock. Look at.
I don't know. There's basketball being on the seats. So that was gonna be last thing.
What you do? You said if you get the
I'm
job.
so the latest I've been here is like 10, 20.
He wants to sell it to his substitution.
Right.
Like 8 to 5, that's good. I say it's. Like 2 hours. 5. Give them a price. He's computer. But. He's.
Wow.
He's
And so you start calling through this and you make clear so that you're on the content versus.
Never let it take.
What did you just
I'm sorry for the concept.
the content of the validity of what's actually being written, or is that already been said?
Well, yeah, that's what established, you know, so, I mean, sometimes it hasn't. So that's the other use of it.
Yeah.
But in the case, there are things that are just, different work, I mean, you definitely get along with it, especially when it's not, like I said, correspondence. It's. Some people, it's not washing it over, maybe they don't want to people. That's it. Well, you just like people, stars, yeah. It have to go through time. This is the question. This was the question. I think. These were two of those. Like grading, but one thing would take more. But you want the initial, it's great fact, they know who they attribute to, but I like overseeing that stuff sometimes. Just the initial signs of those, with initial letters. Little pictures was a voice, please forward. Both of them. What is this of the graph of American two? But he's out. And we're sure of them. Not this at all. I graph. She does get enough. Not hungry. No, I got. I got you. Too far enough. I got you. Stevens. One of Stevens.
Really?
Really.
Yeah. He was the one that is that
I know, but maybe. Well, we rephrase that, because I didn't have it. Part of the family, 15, and stayed there for.
Oh, that's good.
He's got twice crime, he's got twice the foot, and he's street. His thing. Oh, you can read it, that's, it's just the book that you could have number all your roots in Ireland.
Yeah.
Why, if you hold in towns, all files of all, please, the dream now, so. Oh, I do, so that's why. We can back up. Yeah. Oh, it is. He's never served you. Oh, that. Maybe Einstein. Famous
she has friends, she's on my mother's friends.
Oh, really?
And how it's, and they could go for reading for, to bigger. And she don't find out, and it's.
That's.
He was grumpy, that's all I was for. Susan was telling me he was grumpy.
That's how you. Others make something. Savage. You have all the top of your house. He was famous to
You would think, right? That's definitely.
I mean, how do you track part of this? Well, we'll see. Yeah.
We're saying.
Yeah. I put some tape this time. I look at this down. Water to her, so I'm going to 6 years away. Somebody had a choice. Yeah, well, I'm the transfer. Well, yeah, that was one about 15, so that'd be very city like the 30, I mean, so I gotta get it doesn't really much again. I don't know for the school, but they felt you France, so it's shooting with the bill, so that is, I'm hired in.
Yeah.
It's a smell, I feel, and it's, I mean, well, I think per capita, it's not, just curiosity, this is what.
That's what
Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, if you have a third, yeah, yeah, they want to fall down.
Yeah.
They said they were 1,000 a year back, it's actually pretty good change. It's in me, that's the house, I saw violence. Yeah, maybe they feel I was standing right now. I was scared like they go back on there. One day that I got set up and we had a check for inside, so we are saying just on the east small kids over there, so they show up. Yeah, you're over so that, you know. See one of them buying so whatever, just go through a big paper, do it. Not get all the taxes and they'll all that. Yeah, he's, yeah, so now sold. Yeah, so we use really good news for me. I'm trying to selling maybe some people the taxes you go also.
Oh my gosh, and then he.
Yeah, boy, I don't have this one. Yeah, so,
Oh, wow, that's awesome. The first grandbaby.
Yeah, I say that's that appreciation. See her, so yeah, so.
Exactly. So we have to believe it's something. Yes, it's. That's it's smaller than also for 3 people, for fine, for 4 people, I think fine. But for 2 people, I just way out of options, so we hired place. Downside. Yeah, we would want it. Well,
So it starts.
okay.
Trying to get set on that. My mother's always really good at how to start. And she was like, you know,
So what do you call them?
babies. A 7. So
Actually.
simple. Because she was always so.
You're not, what you got, I
Yeah, so we
so
was
much.
teaching us.
So.
Down to send all the utensils and they would use. It's actually
This back on the board.
very bad. I don't know how much I could really is stuck with people, but.
Stressful. It's amazing, I mean, I'm not the most, the best eater, but that's why I don't have to. Can't be shut out at the end. Some grass usually is, very utensils. It's one, so,
I suppose last year, when you might find that all this happens, that's the next.
Yeah, I don't want, that's good. Looks nice, it's a lake, but he's on you're here now, so buttons on the snakes, everybody's very weird, you know, it's not even but cracks or something. These were weird, it's like, oh, that's like, how's it? Brad never was like, who after, Brad did all the. Yeah, hold on. That was his thing. Yes. But as far as jobs, he never told the jobs, a little part of it. But he. Yeah, but you should pay until the end of this.
He's like, I think we should.
So you have plenty coming in on time. So you have. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, so you're. Yeah.
It was just.
Yeah, you go here. This is bad. What's your, how do you get off this? Yeah, they're going to.
I love it. That didn't matter as well, so.
What school do you wanna go to?
And I don't have any friends. Friends that were going to be.
Oh, 2 hours.
I don't have any friends, so.
There are a lot of kids who go, who's a very heavy, that's always a couple, so it's always, so that's what we know, we friends too.
Yeah.
So that's when I said, okay, you know, this is.
It just.
Let's make this.
All my friends, I know that I
You're
usually.
talking to me.
So I've been very close to that.
I mean, I know there was daily. I agree. I'm saying, but he, that's the same too, wrong up there. I went over to Steve's, right, I was the one kid. I said, we can't get off, probably stepped off the phone. That says, trying to get something done here. Sometimes challenging. So damn, just, I was in company, so I gotta get something done. It was great. I don't know the rest. So, yeah, it's the same, it's the same thing. Oh, well, yes, I didn't know this. I don't know, Puerto Rican, so they can start out 8 years there, right, find out, you know. It's so sad that it's bad. It's sometimes. Like that.
What made you switch my seat?
Thanks. Well. I'm here, I can see that. Not anything like that. Great, all the shoes awesome. Says it just has homes. Yeah, should go. That, yeah, that's nice. That's what was you. Oh, yeah, I'm somebody to be a police. Which did understand. I'm trying to not. But it's only for that's. And naturally, because she just that. No, and that was what was done, but as even though he was turned out for the others, particularly charged students there, right? Maybe. Like good friend, that was a still, I guess not, it wasn't bad, but when you get go from clear to you really have to relation. I think how to to the process you like that was.
And it's funny how you mentioned that, it seems like it's. School choice function, the administration. That's a change. The brackets. Yeah. For the county, but sending that back, it's usually exactly more specialization, kids. So you don't sort of start. Yeah,
It's much more. Yeah, very similar to what and especially they both, you know, from Springfield, but that's what Stephen, especially from the Charles, It's problem, then hit the horse, and then you're very good trimming trees. And that's the problem. Saturday, that only did that, so say, it's a that really it's not too bad, that's a part of you. So you have to put some.
It's evolving because there's subject, they just choose the very creative aspect of things, but it's immensely. So the program is, actually it's different venues, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah, just
work.
I took over the part two.
That's, the other.
Yeah.
I might not be.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
For folks like them, is amazing, and the kids in high school can actually credits to go towards college.
Yeah.
And it's paid,
Yeah.
it's less expensive than the other college, but that's the most that they choose to pay.
Yeah. And I think for these days, the question is, there are so many computers because you have actions. That can do things, visual skills, functioning on graceful, yeah. In fact, I can think people in office should not that they're seeing.
How far that you want to be. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Do that. Everybody, greater play this. 2 years, 2 years.
No.
Yeah. So you first lay out the first buyout came. We lost it to a position, which was bad at jails. Next 18 months, we're trying to say, smooth this. By the time they were done, we were down 5 people. I was like, this is just not. And then stuff started knocking, I think it's more, it's like more, he's more on time, he's the rich, yeah. Or actually, some of this, okay, we don't reaction generate, say that, yeah. Oh, like good cat. And then first thing, like, fine, you do that one. Where's the cost of it? I'm not sure. I love you. See what's to say. It's. And then you try to. Is. Oh, that would be real. What are you proud? Right, so that was.
Oh, really?
And he was he is great for great. They're all, and he goes, really funny for this thing. And they will be out. He's in the planet world. Yeah. And he's swimming all of the. Yeah. I thought, yeah. So it's for 10 years. That was beautiful. It's nice. Yeah. I'm anxious this year. Who else I do? I put the discuss it. We can just in Europe, met each other the first 6 minutes. You know, meet you lunch. You meet at lunch. Subjects and also you so. But I didn't see you on the heads of dogs. It's just like feel what you have what feel done for you. Which one of these? Well, one of these ones is NCAA's, you know. It's huge. It's like, oh, it's great. So, we're pushing on the grassy. Jeremy says, stuff to sort of take care of the. Where did this go?
I don't feel like.
Yeah.
I just don't like.
Yeah.
But like the thing is I like.
We're going to do this. Yeah.
And I don't like. I feel like
But I was getting lost. She's very pretty. When she puts her mind to it. And she has her project, comes up with these ideas. She's crying. Oh, it's nice.
So how many signs? I mean, it's like, see,
Yeah.
and then, but you, you're event file, and then you know what kind of things.
We do.
That's really not fine.
Oh, ever. We just got done with, or.
Yeah.
We're not like, we learned something, which one we love.
Yeah. Or do the one.
What else? Figure out too.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, everybody, yeah, no, I didn't see that. Yeah, they put it on, I did so many kind of strategy and little geology.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff.
There's a little too, there's also, but yeah, something.
Or so I wanted them.
Practice, but it's the first season doing track. And she's so willing to, she did a long term.
For that one, and I did the one from her, that's like, I have not good reaction time, it takes me a while to like go to speed. Because the thing is, it's like, I love the format one, because it gets back a little bit, and then sprint, and I pass a lot of people who do that. So I like doing that, and then long jump, I almost got the states.
Wow.
I was, I think I was really wet, because I got 10.5 feet that I jumped. So, yeah, you have to get like 11 or 12, yeah. And then just goes out.
So did they, how long before this year took this whole reaction? That's fact.
Not as long as like, I was longer than I was there. I know I was, but, you know, before I was doing deep for it, so. And
It is happening. Yeah.
No, we have a smart, traditional soccer, basketball and stuff.
And I also said there, so yeah, we had this.
Sport that we had for the other
Schools, we get to, I know, we get to this. Yeah, but every once in a while, people,
Yeah, sorry, right?
Oh, it's essentially,
I love.
to me, it's just, yeah, those system, you're like the system, 6 and of course, you were 4. Was it really good? Pretty well, right across the road, so you can do it all, little pasture, so we have 2 books with them, right? So you either come one of them, so that you shut up and she whenever grow, and heavy, but if you're not gonna cover with all everything, that's right. So she still has those, she has 3 benefits, this one.
Yeah, I didn't jump in. I don't get the country jumpers. I found that, I see the rush do that, and I find it really cool.
Yeah. Keep it,
But I'm also.
keep it in good shape. Yeah. So you go, so maybe as you walk away and. Interesting taking lessons.
Yeah, you take that.
We'll be taking a look at your.
At least every Friday,
That's great.
if not more. Friday.
You talk about that, and the other for people.
Whereas a magic one has. So.
You do a competition in the show sometimes.
I mean, the first show really activated, but I think jumping shows, I love those, and I love to do that. So it's more like some shot.
Is that what they? I think that's started at three else's. Great, you carry it. Well, still there. Well, they like that, so that was great. Not everybody gets to do that, actually, but.
No. Right, I feel like the horse. I'm grateful that we have some other people that have horses too. And I don't want horses. My parents had, they have horses. 2 horses, the horse came with the house, and the horse came up here. Yeah, and then another one that we decided it was really broken, so I said, we were gonna break it. Finish breaking it as a family and.
Jeff Shaw.
We're just, your son, he was lost in person. She was full of she was very decent. So. No, a lot. I'm very.
This is one thing we do about that. She's a very good you can't do it, say that, you must not, let's say, if I'm shooting away the front from the bias, that's probably about people.
Yeah. The understand is that it's going to activate. So. He's going to. Yeah.
I think it's a lot of different right there. Finish trade design involved. Yeah, we need to learn. Yes,
Since my parents was they're a lot more
ready to know if they're ready.
that has been so exciting.
3 days. That's. They seem to that is
They're for it.
Good, if they have identified at least once or twice a week.
I know, and that's what you hear. It's amazing.
You know, that's
That's a highway.
yeah, I was going to. Pay us. A little bit less, you do a little bit. 4 bucks, you would say no problem. There's a tire. That was the back exactly. The battery. There's 2 loads, right? They were talking about. Oh, you should make we don't take it. We don't know that's the rest. There's no fun from. It's on you, this is beyond the. And that's to see that. So I know what I was not sure.
That's it.
So we're all going to do assessment of others. Yeah, then are you gonna probably be on Sunday? I'm not in schedule.
And.
So I didn't go to that. Well. Sunday for a function.
And you have to take a look at two ways, you won't talk about Saturday aspect. He is, I'm sure I to ask, you want to ask him.
Exactly.
Not status.
I went towards your labor.
Because he's not that, concerned. It's necessary. We get that from him, easily, and especially.
Yeah, it works.
And then, somebody was, there's somebody before, somebody was asking a little bit more about, in depth about.
But primary technical side.
And that's what we're looking
Yeah,
at.
right. They're just form, I'm broken down. They're not gonna do shit. I do. Yeah, no, I. If I need to
Very
go.
professional and professional, yeah, so we spent. The whole fact that.
So.
Making sure that.
I mean, it's not as simple as yes.
But you had mentioned that.
That's good stuff.
And I guess I'm going to send Springfield. Training college. Because it's there's something we'll share for talking about. People. Because there's changing things here.
But instead of around 16 miles or over.
Right, yeah, I would say those are the only things that can't imagine that we have to, that there's really.
Especially because it's the body. Well, I sense this. I'm one of those strong. We did it. We did
Right.
the car. We go.
Are you sure?
Yeah. And wrote some goes on together. World's all complete. They're not really very talented. Well, I'm getting.
Yeah, I was like, okay, but.
Somebody else like half there.
Yeah.
He's never agreed with anything. Correct. Oh, correct. We do the same thing. You know what?
Then I think that's all, I agree. That's not-
Wherever you're gonna get, and that's what it is. Pretty fair.
So even ours is just keeping. 7,000, it's really.
If I wanna get.
Comparison to so many others.
I want 3 foot of stretcher, like the interface or he almost like somebody should say. We needed when come out somebody there. And I hate something. But if West Windsor, Windsor, or out of this, lower still. Hey, think about things, some right between all of us. I don't want to do that. Make him get that stuff. I wanna make sure that he is, feels like he's taken care of everything.
Thank you, yes, you're right, and I will tell you, there's times when I do not, and then it wasn't, I said, there's other things.
Right, I would value.
And you, that's just how it's
small,
Right.
small things.
but that's okay, but for others.
Right now,
My
I am
opinion
there
for the library.
25,000, 35,000. Mostly it's.
Yeah.
We'll see. They got you for yourself. Yes.
That is, I would take her, she promised me. Wow.
Other things that you might.
To her, to everything. All right, well,
$1.5.
that's going
Good, how are you?
good.
So then $1.5 $1 $1 million.
Right.
So I ran for pretty hard. My other farm. Right. So you shall, that's on. It's. All sleep, you left it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, make it easy.
Lisa. Ready for that? Yes. All right, it's all.
You don't want that? Gotta change. Yeah. You go. That's not much than they do. It's like the words, what you did hard, there's bad shape over there. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll stay with one social, it's all better. Lisa, the flags was amazing.
Thank you. It's nice to
Thank
have
you.
fresh new ones. to
Thank
have
you.
Here, you're welcome.
They really, especially this weekend when it got kind of rainy and they just pop,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean?
We'll go through other towns and compare them to ours.
I do the same thing, the roads.
Flags, ours better.
Yeah, I drive my wife nuts. Especially if we go down a dirt road somewhere.
Yeah. I did that for insurance for 23 years and I don't have to worry about that anymore, but I used to always say they should not have that trampoline next to that swimming pool.
Yep.
And look at that roof. And now I don't even do that anymore, just totally forgotten about it.
For the last few years, my wife's picked up some summer work and she does weedings for our neighbor that has a mowing company, but they also do flower gardens and stuff. And it's so embarrassing when I go like out to dinner or something and she'll walk over. She'll at the restaurant, walks over to her bed and stuff. Lisa, what are you doing? This, it's not done, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
We're going to go eat.
I
She's standing there waiting in line.
dandelions, dandelions are my pet peeve, I just don't like dandelions.
It would start getting stuff, pulling the weeds, putting it out somewhere.
That's good.
Hard to shut it off.
Yeah.
Out of executive session at 7:34.
Who decided when he was done?
Sorry,
Who decided this one?
I'm not ready for that yet, I'm not sure what we got. Oh, that's a good question.
That was the, yeah,
That's
that was the question.
not that,
for
sorry.
us.
Oh,
my great.
okay. So we are, I declare this out of executive session at 7:34. So we are back in order, I call us back to order here. We were in executive session, one VSA 313A1A Town Manager Contract. Do I hear a motion to accept the negotiated contract for the town manager position dated 5/26/2026?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept the negotiated contract dated 5/26/26 for the town manager position. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And any abstentions? Hearing none. Select board has negotiated a contract for the town manager. This contract reduces his annual salary by $10,000 to $114,000. Part of the negotiated contract makes provision for an annual student loan payment of $5,250. This payment is taken from his annual salary and reduces it to $108,750 if he so chooses to use it. This contract is a 3-year contract that retains this town manager. Any comments from the citizens on what we've just done here?
Second.
Did you raise your hand, Steve?
There's a hand.
Steve down Weathersfield Road. I'm glad to hear that we have a 3-year contract with Brandon. Maybe this will put some people's questions at ease. And like you said, it's a reduction by the sounds of it. I don't know if people have anything personal against Brandon or not. It seems like it at times. But maybe they're just concerned about the salary or not, but hopefully we can move past this and get on to other agenda and not be rehashing this by the sounds of it every week.
Thank you, Steve. Anybody else?
And the hotline.
Who is it?
Murray, August Murray.
August, Dr. Murray, you're recognized.
Thank you. Yeah, the only couple comments I'd have is we're in a failed budget period. We don't have a new approved budget for the upcoming year. And at a previous budget committee meeting, Brandon had acknowledged that the payroll benefits should be part of the budgeting process. I think that 2 failed votes and much public concern about employee pay, benefits, compensation. I just think that it was inappropriate to negotiate a contract outside of the budget process, because you do have a budget committee that's responsible for representing taxpayer feedback and giving that advice and information and feedback to the select board. So my just feedback is that I think that this should have been part of the budget process. Thank you.
And I respectfully disagree with that, as the select board is the overseeing authority of the town manager and only that position, and everything else comes under the budget committee. Thank you for your comments.
You got one more? We have one. No, they not. Okay.
Anything else? Brandon, I want to thank you and welcome aboard, and let's get this ship righted, and you know, I know that you can do that. I know that we can all do that. It's going to take all of us in the entire town. Try to put some of this behind us and move forward and start working together. I think that's really important. And I hope we can do that soon. That's going to conclude this part, which is the executive session. Item number 5, comments from select board. Start with that. Anybody? Comments from citizens, topics not on the agenda. Anybody? How did I know?
So I just wanted to make mention, or Lisa Slade, I just wanted to make mention again about the Scottney Fire District, AKA Water District, which probably definitely majority of the town isn't in the district, but we did receive our mailing today for the annual meeting. Annual meetings on Tuesday, June 2nd at 6 o'clock here. So it does affect a number of water district users and residents, so hopefully we'll have a better turnout than in the past. I just wanted to throw the word out there in the case of somebody online that didn't receive their notice or doesn't know about the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Did everybody hear that? There's a fire district meeting, which is an annual meeting. It'll be Tuesday, 6 to, what was the time on that, Lisa?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock here at Martin Memorial Hall. Thank you again, Lisa. Anybody else from the public? Okay. Next up, review minutes 5/11/26. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of 5/11/26?
I move that we approve minutes of 5/11/26.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Kelly. Any discussion on the minutes? 5/11/26. None? I don't have any on these. Motion to approve the minutes 5/11/26. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries, it's unanimous. Review minutes of 5/14/2026.
I move that we approve the minutes of 5/14/26.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made to approve the minutes 5/14/2026. Any discussion on those minutes? Hearing none. Motion to approve the minutes 5/14/26. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And any abstentions? The motion carries. It is also unanimous. Highway updates. I think this is Ray's turn. Sorry to wake you up, sir. Well, we left for a while.
I just want to take a few minutes and give a quick update of what's happening where we're at. We have transitioned out of winter and mud season and now we're into spring, summer. We've like cleaned up all the trucks, taken off the plows, painted them, put their away for the oil them up and put them away for the summer. We are starting to ditch and we are grading. We try to grade every day. If it's gonna rain or if it's raining a lot, we cannot grade. So right now, we're about 60% complete on our first pass on our roads in town. We have a project starting on Center Road to be the second week of June. That's the culvert we have a grant for. The culvert's been sitting on the side of the road for 6 or 7 months now. The gentleman will be here on Monday to bring in all the equipment. And he plans on actually start the work on Tuesday. We are assisting the company that was part of the plan for our share of the grant. We'll be providing trucks and trucking and bringing in materials for the project and taking away the old materials. Center Road project, we'll talk about that later on for paving. We did get a grant for that for 200,000 and then we used some of our share to complete the project. The other thing for an update would be, I did apply for a structures grant and I was trying to replace 3 culverts on Center Road. We did receive notification we are going to get some of the funding for the project. What happens is towns usually every 6 or 7 years are eligible for these grants. I apply every year and sometimes you get lucky and they have money left over. And if nobody's applied and it's only me and I get a phone call and I get the change left over. So I do have some money coming in for that project, luckily. So any questions?
When you do that culvert that's up there by Weathersfield, by Wellwood Orchard there, will that road be closed, the
No,
main road?
It's going to be one lane.
Okay,
There will be some times where they're gonna have equipment, you're gonna have to wait a few minutes to get through, but one lane will be open.
okay,
It should be a 1-week project, it should be done. The culvert should be done, the paving will be later on, but the culvert should be done and back to the road.
I just know
level.
that it's people getting to and from work, would just.
And I did send a report to patients today, and she did put it on the website for the newsletter.
Okay.
But I was hoping to put it on Facebook or whatever, and I'll talk to the patients again, put it on Facebook too, just to let them know.
Does it, I've forgotten the timing of when they do their strawberry.
The Strawberry Festival is June 20th.
Okay, so
I
that
know
will be
because I
plenty of time.
talked to the guys about adding gravel and grading that road the week before the festival. We're probably gonna get it done the first week of June, a little early, but we just use all the traffic to come back the road down for us. Very close. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns, thoughts? Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Item number 8, Weathersfield Center Road paving bid award. Is this you, Brendan, or back to Ray again?
It's both of us.
Okay.
On April 23rd, we issued an RFP for paving and chip sealing work on Weathersfield Center Road. That can be found on attachment A. Bids were due on May 20th, 2026. We held a public bid opening upstairs. The town received 4 submissions. Those submissions are attachment B. The next agenda item proposes transferring the town's highway paving budget to the highway capital maintenance and improvements reserve fund. As the project may not be completed in FY 26, isn't that right?
It's not slated to be completed until after July 1st.
Until after what? I'm
July 1st, after this fiscal year.
Okay.
In addition, the town has received a $200,000 grant from the state of Vermont to support this project. So the recommended motion is motion to award the Weathersfield Center Road paving project to Pike Industries in an amount not to exceed $101,990. Motion to award the Weathersfield Center Road crack filling, chip sealing, and performance bond work to all state construction in an amount not to exceed $202,950. Funding for this project will be through a combination of reserve funds, state funding, and the FY 27 highway paving budget. Given that,
I do actually, if I can.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, when we do a bid for a project for paving, it's based on estimated volume of tonnage that's needed to do the job. So when you get into the paving job, you're trying to go from point A to point B, we have an estimate of 1,000 tons. Sometimes it comes out at 1,200 tons, sometimes it comes out at 800 tons. So to address that, you always add, I'm trying to add language in the bid where they do the bulk share, they do the one-time lump sum for basing it on what we said at 1,000 yards of mix to get the job done, for instance. If you do that, the cost index will go up and down for paving, the asphalt cost, the actual oil prices will go up and down. So what contractors will do is they'll bid higher for a per ton price, trying to speculate if they think the price will go up for per ton to put the pavement down by the time they do it 6 months or 7 months down the road, or whatever it might be. So you end up with getting an inflated cost because they're trying to protect themselves. So all the bidders will do that. If I add it so that they can go up and down for the oil it takes to make the asphalt. So 6% of the tonnage can go up and down. So it protects the town. It gives us the best price from the contract rate. So we have 1,000 tons of material going out. I'm trying to put it in a nutshell. We have 1,000 tons of material. 6% of that is actually the oil you buy to put into the mix. That's where the cost comes from. When this bid went out, it was 700. It says in the bid, I think it was $740 a ton for that rubberized, for that asphalt. Right now, it's $777 a ton. So the contractors can go up or they can go down. You're not locked in on the price. So it gives a fair bid for the town and the contractor. If the price goes down, then the job won't cost as much. So long story short, there's a lump sum in this bid and there's a per ton price. So if we get to Perkins Hill Road and we decide if I use another $75,000 out of next year's budget for the paving, I can add on to the job and do more. I already have a per ton price for all the work. So we're locked in. If I didn't have that in there, you have no ability to add on, and it's hard to subtract, and you did a lump sum. So if it came in at 800 tons instead of 1,000, you're gonna pay 304,000 regardless. If you do it this way, the price can go up and down and help us and them. I mean, it might go either way. So the wording to say not to exceed that amount shouldn't be in there, I don't think. Because it gives us the opportunity to get the project done completely and then maybe add on more or subtract some to stay in the budget. Is that understandable?
Barely, but.
So is this motion not correct? It says.
I would ask it to say not just to award the bid for the lump sum and the prices per the bid, not just get rid of the not to exceed part. So I don't want to get halfway, I don't want to get 3/4 of the way there and have to cut the project short because we just ran out of money.
And just where are you paving from and to?
Right now, the project plan is to go from 131 to Perkins Hill. That's all we have enough money for. But I will.
Are you serious? What's wrong with that road?
It's chip sealing, it's crack sealing, chip sealing, and filling in all the troughs.
So you're not repaving the whole thing, you're just filling in the
We're gonna
cracks?
shim all the low spots, do all the crack filling. And then they put on a little layer of asphalt with the stone in it for chip sealing to coat it all. It's not paving an inch, the whole thing.
Mhm.
It's a routine maintenance practice, so. Keeps the road in good shape.
So I know what it does, raise
So,
my driveway another inch. Come on.
Oh, it should be smaller than that. Anyway, that's,
So, Brandon, in the packet. Which motion are we looking at, on what page?
We're looking at page 12 of the PDF.
I'm on, at what page of the packet? I'm on 49, that's where I'm seeing, highway paving funds, capital maintenance reserves.
So if you go all the way back to the top, and then you click on item number 7,
Sure.
excuse me, number 8. When you click on number 8, it'll bring you directly to the page.
and if I may add a quick something.
What, nothing's happening? Ah, there it goes, okay, it did, finally, and it's page 12. Okay,
Mr. Chair, may I ask?
yes, sir.
I'm not particularly following, right? So what you're looking to do is, it's typical language for me for us to put not to exceed. And I'm not understanding the logic of not doing that.
Whenever you do an estimated materials projection, what it's gonna take to do the project. It's like, usually estimate it's gonna take 4 gallons to paint your house. You hire somebody to paint your house, it comes in at 5 gallons. Do you stop them and not finish your house? Or do you buy the extra gallon of paint and finish the house? So with that cost index, they bid on 1,000, they say it's gonna be, we estimated 1,000 tons to do the job, it might come in at 1,200. The cost of mix
So it is what it is. That means they're gonna finish the job.
for 1,000 tons. And it might not get to Perkins Hill, we might have to stop short. If that's acceptable, then we can do that.
Because what he's saying is the bid for the job was for a finite amount of material.
Yep.
Not from point A to point B, so where you run out of the material is point B.
Right.
And that is be short.
It's not, the part that's not gonna go up is the material volume, it's the cost of the asphalt to make.
I think you said it was $740.
It was $740 when the bid went out, the bid went out,
$770.
we based the prices on $740 a ton for the asphalt mix.
And now it's
Now
$777.
it's $777, when they paid it, it could be $745, it could be $780.
At the light is beginning to dawn, so if you find out that you can't get as much material because one of the components, the cost of one of the components
Right,
is restricting you.
Right.
So instead of going to Perkins Hill, you can only go to Katy Hill.
right, but they've already paid.
But the bid was awarded at $101,990 in this position. So you're saying, where are you gonna make up the extra money?
There's in the bid for a cost overrun on asphalt or under.
No, I wanna know if it's gonna cost more than
I have money in next year's paving
$101,990.
budget covered the cost, it shouldn't be any more than the $3,000 to $4,000.
But
We
then
have no guarantee.
but then you're robbing from Peter to pay Paul from next year's
Yeah.
paving budget as well. Reserves, where are the reserves at? For
I
that?
wouldn't, the money from this year's paving budget is going into the reserve, so we're gonna take that right back out to pay this bill.
Okay,
We got 304. My guesstimate is we're gonna have an overrun of less than $5,000 on asphalt.
And I think that's within your approval authority, you and I approval authority in the case it runs over. I think from the board's perspective, they should approve the recommended motions. And then if you feel like you're starting to go over, then we need to have a discussion about that and go from there.
Good.
I agree with that, yeah.
And also, you'll notice the way it was bid, only one company does chip sealing, so one company responded to chip sealing. If I had bid it out for the whole complete project, only one company would have bid. So this way, companies that do, grinding and crack filling and other things could bid on it. So right now, we're saving $30,000 because the big company that does it chip seal with $30,000 more for the whole project. We're gonna use pipe for the first half, filling the holes and doing all that stuff, and then the crack sealing and the chip sealing will be provided by, Allstate. So it's basically a $30,000 reduction in the overall bid cost.
So I think, from what I heard, we're in agreement to accept the motions the way they are. Was someone ready to make these motions?
I make a motion to award the Weathersfield Center Road paving project to Pike Industries in an amount not to exceed $101,990.
Or your second?
Second.
Motion's been made to award the Weathersfield Center Road paving project to Pike Industries in an amount not to exceed $101,990. It has been seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, it's unanimous. Second motion,
I make a motion to award the Weathersfield Center Road crack filling, chip sealing, and performance bond work to Allstate Construction in an amount not to exceed $202,950.
do I hear a second to the motion? Motion's been made and seconded to award the Weathersfield Center Road crack filling, chip sealing, and performance bond work to Allstate Construction in the amount not to exceed $202,950. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion's carries, it's unanimous. Thank you all for that. And transfer highway fiscal year 26 paving funds to the highway capital maintenance reserve. So is that page that was on it 49, I think, maybe?
Excuse me. My name's Dwight Phelps, and we got a notice in the mail that there was gonna be a discussion on the dam removal.
Oh, that must be the DRB.
Weathersfield
Yeah.
Dam.
That's upstairs.
You're in the wrong meeting.
Pardon me?
You're in the wrong meeting. This is the select board. I think that's the DRB meeting.
Yes, it is.
Brandon, could you direct him to the link and the directions to get over to the correct meeting?
Yeah, so if you wanna can you access the town's website from your computer?
I did. I mean, I followed everything that I was supposed to follow, and it brought me to here.
Okay, if you go on the DRB page and you click on their agenda, there's a Google Meet link on their agenda that you have to click on. And it'll direct you right upstairs and you'll be in the correct meeting.
That'll take you to the correct meeting. We apologize for that. It was a double booking oversight that we are addressing moving forward. This board will only have the Zoom link, and all other boards and commissions using online services will use a different provider for meetings. So that this confusion doesn't happen, and we apologize for that. But if you follow that link that Brendan just told you about, it will take you to that meeting. It's happening upstairs.
Okay.
So go to the town website, click on the DRB, click on their agenda, and the link is on that agenda, and it will take you there. Okay?
Yeah, it's too late now. I mean, that meeting started at 6:30, so.
They're still up there.
Yeah.
Still meeting.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Again, our apologies. Weathersfield Center Road paving bid award. So go back to the beginning and click on 9. Catch it onto this high-tech stuff. Okay. Brandon, you want to take this, or is this gonna be great? And you?
This is agenda item 9,
Yeah.
transfer FY26 highway paving funds to highway capital maintenance reserves. As explained on the last agenda item, the Weathersfield Center Road paving and chip sealing project may not be completed in FY26. We budgeted 99,000 for paving in FY 26 and propose moving that to the highway capital maintenance reserve fund. This project will then be paid for through a combination of reserve funds, FY 27 highway paving budget funds, and grant funds. This reserve fund currently has a balance of $23,413.15.
And the recommendation is to move $99,045 from the fiscal year 26 highway budget to the highway capital maintenance reserves. Do I hear that motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to move $99,045 from the fiscal year 26 highway budget to the highway capital maintenance reserves, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries, it's unanimous. Item 10, financial report. Pretty sure that's you, Braden.
Yeah, everyone has a finance report printed. It's also on the website. On the week's meeting packet. So as of May 20th, 2026, the town's financial position remains stable overall, with total revenues across all funds exceeding 91% of budget and total expenditures at approximately 80% of budget, resulting in a positive net position of approximately $400,000 across all operating funds. While several department line items have exceeded budget allocations, these are generally offset by underutilization in other departments and stronger than anticipated revenues in certain areas. Overall, cash performance remains healthy heading into the close of the fiscal year. Total year-to-date revenues through May 20th, 2026 is $3,341,165, representing 91.13% of the total adopted revenue budget of $3,666,428. In the general fund revenues total $1,800,000 or 91.35% of budget. Some of our observations: tax revenue collection is on target, consistent with the fiscal year timeline. Administrative revenues have exceeded budget expectations, reaching 105.75%, driven by stronger than anticipated miscellaneous receipts, pilot payments, interest earnings, and delinquent tax interest. Finance revenues are fully realized at 100%. Non-clerk revenues are at 71.65%, which is somewhat below the total budget pacing for the town clerk budgets, likely due to variability in transactional fee-based revenue. Land use revenues are notably under budget at 30.3%, reflecting lower permitting or contracted service activity than originally anticipated. Police revenues are at 46.61%. This doesn't include the Army Corps of Engineers funding that will be coming in through the month of June and also July. So we believe the police revenue should be on target at year end. Highway revenues total $1,216,000 or 94.81% of budget. Tax revenue remains on schedule. Other revenues have exceeded budget expectations by 105.85%, indicating strong reimbursement and miscellaneous revenue performance. Part of that is also the state aid to highway came in over budget revenue. Solid waste revenues total $324,000 or 78.63% of budgets. Fixed revenues are nearly fully realized at 98.60%. The variable revenues remain lower at 64.67%. This is an issue that we're resolving through the deficit reduction formula over a period of 7 years. This deficit is shared by all participants in the transfer station. Total expenditures through May 20th, 2026 are $2,940,000, representing 80% of the total expenditure budget of $3,656,755. This indicates disciplined spending overall, with several departments maintaining expenditures below year-end budget pacing. General fund expenditures total $1,692,398, or 86% of budget. Administration is at 84% of $413,000. Spending remains generally in line, though several individual line items exceeded budgets, including legal, copier lease, and insurance costs. Shared services is at 104% of budget. This department has exceeded its budget already at period 11. This is primarily due to office operations, postage, and equipment related costs. A lot of that was on a special town meeting, so we had additional postage that had to be utilized, in order to send over the material for a special town meeting. Finance is at 78.12% or $110,086. Spending remains below budget, providing favorable margin heading into year end. The town clerk budget is at 83% or $117,000, operating within expected range. Listers is at 58.60% or $30,202, significantly under budget, largely due to deferred contracted assessor and reappraisal related spending. Land use is at 96% or $134,000, near full budget utilization driven in part by legal related expenditures. Police is at 89% or $352,000. Spending remains within budget, though close monitoring is appropriate as the fiscal year concludes. Fire and emergency services is at 87.84% or $347,835. Spending remains stable and within budget expectations. Library, $132,000 or 84.20%, operating within reasonable year-to-date budgeting parameters. Highway fund expenditures total $1,054,000 or 82.17% of budget. This reflects solid spending control while maintaining operational activity. A sizable portion of budget authority remains available heading into fiscal year close. The paving line items were a main driver of under expenditures. The select board just took care of that with the transfer to reserves, so that'll show up in our year-end summary. Solid waste fund expenditures total $193,000 or 46.84% of budget. Observations, fixed expenses are at 86.19%, which is in with expected range. Variable expenses are at 85.45%, which is also within expected range. So what that shows me is the issue is directly with punch ticket revenue. It continues to be a main issue with the transfer station. Expenditure line items are under control. There's one revenue line that continues to be out of control, in my opinion. Fund balance position, operational net as of May 20th. The general fund net position is $107,649. Highway fund net position is $162,000. Solid waste fund is $131,000. Combined net position of $400,000. Overall assessment, the town remains in a stable financial position through May 20th. Strong overall revenue performance, conservative expenditure pacing across most departments, positive operational balance in all major funds, some budget pressure in shared services, land use, legal expenditures, and select administrative categories, underperformance in certain revenue sensitive areas, solid highway fund performance, continued issues with punch ticket revenues in the solid waste fund, which again is being addressed through the deficit reduction line item in the budget. At this stage, the town appears financially sound heading into fiscal year close with no immediate indicators of structural financial concern.
Thank you, Greg. Any questions from the board?
I have one.
Go ahead, Joe.
Under revenues in land use, 30% of budgeted income. That's a lot less houses being built than was anticipated. How much did we actually plan on coming in and why is that number so low comparatively?
So we had a regional land use office with 2 employees. And what we did was when Olivia Savage resigned from her position, we shifted those resources over to the land use department. So it's netting 0. And then it's actually not the permitting revenue, it's the contracted services revenue.
Okay.
And that's offset with the reduction of the principal clerk line item.
that explains it a little bit more, because I was looking at it and being like, well, that was very underwhelming. If it was on permits alone. Thank you for clearing that up.
You're welcome. Any other questions before?
I don't understand the term, a sizable portion of budget authority remains available. What does that mean in 5-year-old English?
So what that means is going into or finishing the month of May and the month of June, there still remains funds available to fund operations through the end of the year. Yeah, sorry.
I do have one other
I'll try to put it down in
Just-
future budget reports.
for future, not now.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a better idea of what pilot payments we're getting.
Okay. I
Or
can do
what,
that.
where do we get, where do they come from and how much are we looking at? And the
Yeah.
other question I have is how many cases do we currently have in court since legal expenses are a problem, but not today.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from anybody in the public? Steven?
Brandon, can you explain the punch ticket issue a little bit more?
Yeah,
Are we not getting enough punches made and too much trash thrown in?
so basically what's happening is we don't have a scale. So what's happening is when somebody comes to throw away trash, the number of punches is that it's not meeting the amount of weight that we're disposing of. Another issue there is that we do not charge anything for recycling, although it is a variable expense. So we have some $62,000 basically going out in expenses, but we're not receiving any revenue for that. In the past, the town was able to offset it somewhat. It's been a little shaky over the past 20 years. I have a chart that shows, us landing in a deficit all the way back, I think, from like 2004, surplus deficit. And part of that is the flaws with our punch ticket system. If we had a scale, it would fully resolve the issue. However, we also have an increased cost of buying the scale and then an employee to operate it. So what we're doing is we could either buy a scale, have to maintain it, and hire another employee, which in my opinion would exceed the amount that we're spending. What we're doing at the end of the year, when the transfer station lands in a deficit, let's say it lands $30,000 in a deficit, we add that to the cumulative deficit, and then we divide that by the number of years remaining in our agreed upon cumulative deficit reduction. So let's say we had a deficit of 150,000, we added $30,000 to it in this fiscal year, now it's at 180,000. We would divide that by 5 next year and make it a fixed expense, and then it would be paid for through the permit stickers. Does that make sense? I have a whole memo about it that I can send you as well.
Joe, so,
Sorry, I had another quick question actually on the punch tickets related. A while ago, there was discussion about the selling of punch tickets, and a couple of different ideas had been coming through. Did they ever materialize in looking into like I know a vending machine was one of the things, but also possibly the just having an app on the phone that you can recharge, accepting different ways to get those things, refillable cards or anything. Not looking for not looking for any specific answers tonight on it, but just to throw a little bit of air underneath that sinking towel to maybe bring it up a little bit.
Yeah, we absolutely need, that's one of the things that we had to put on the back burner.
Yeah.
With everything going on in the past few months. It is on my action list, so we'll be addressing it at future meetings. Sure,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I brought up or questioned at one point. You brought it up during your presentation that we're still charging by volume and paying by weight. The way we're doing it with punch cards is we only charge punch cards at mainstream, which is the upper compactor. We don't charge anything for cardboard recycling. And that upper mainstream waste is supposed to offset the recycling, and that's okay. But if we're still going by volume and not weight, and it's still not working, that's something that's not working.
It's not.
And I just looked up the stainless steel scale that weighs up to 300 pounds, which is more than enough to stack one bag at a time on and get a weight. You know, people don't usually carry much more than one bag anyway. I mean, sometimes I have two, but you know, they're not that heavy. But at the same time, and I'm guilty of this, I'll come in with a box and a like a 30-pound bag that's not full. I get charged one punch. That box alone is 40 pounds. It's cat litter. And it's not getting, you're compounding a problem there where that scale I just looked at, typically $570 is on sale for $375 brand new, and it's stainless steel.
That's for MSW though, but then when you go over to C&D, and I actually think the number, you know, there could be cases in your case where they should have been punched more. I think the issue is recycling is being treated as a variable expense, and we're not collecting $60,000 in revenue every year. So we're trying to offset that and make money off of C&D and MSW.
What I'm trying to say is we have a clear problem with between weight and volume rated MSW that we could kind of narrow down and then have a clearer look at whatever else is going on.
Could I be a pain in the neck and say this isn't topic on the agenda?
It's
on the future agenda. I'm gonna add to the varying off the point. A while ago, you were asked to create an RFP for somebody to do an evaluation of our transfer station operations, and I'm sure that got backburnered. Can you add that to your list with the kiosk?
Yeah, it's on my action list upstairs.
Okay, so that would help address what Mr. Todd was talking about of using a scale. Even if we do just the bags with the scale, again, I'm jumping down the rabbit hole, but all good thoughts to. It does say on our future agenda item, transfer station discussion.
Thank you for reeling me in. Sometimes
we save all those great thoughts for that point on because it is getting late.
Okay, so finance report, all set? Any other questions on finance report? Any other comments on finance report? General fund discussion. Oh, we're just getting into the fun.
All right, I do, sorry, you didn't start with this earlier.
Thank you.
7.5 long trees in front of them.
I know. There you go.
Well, we got computers for, you know.
Hey, it's a lot less than when we had massive
the big
packets.
books, yeah.
I like those.
What's it say? I got a couple more here. All right, so voting on the general fund resulted in 218 votes in favor and 258 opposed, representing a 45.79% approval and 54.21% opposition. In response, I recommend calling a special informational meeting on Monday, July 6th, followed by voting on Tuesday, July 7th. This is the last available time. Typically, the select board sets the tax rate on that Thursday to provide a favorable general fund to the public and get approval. Otherwise, we're looking at tax anticipation notes at that point. To address voter concerns and reduce the overall tax impact, I recommend revising the FY27 general fund budget to reflect a 1.4% tax increase. resulting in a general fund tax requirement of $1,605,000. Achieving this target will require a total budget reduction of an additional $25,318.95. Recommended reductions currently include reducing the town manager's salary from $124,000 to $114,000. Reduce the cost of living adjustment from 3.5% to 2.8%. Reduce tuition and dues by $4,500. Between now and Thursday, I will calculate the precise savings associated with the COLA adjustment and continue a detailed review of staffing levels to determine whether additional reductions may be feasible. We'll also evaluate other budget line items for potential cost savings. If the recommendations above are approved, an additional $5,883 in reductions will still need to be achieved to meet the 1.4% tax increase target.
In our discussion, item 1, waive the fiscal year 27 cost of living adjustment. I believe that is specifically on item 1 for the town manager, and we disagreed with that. I just want to make sure everybody knows that we do, the board did not support that in the contractual discussion.
Could you clarify, Mike? I'm sorry, which part?
For page 1.
Yeah.
Recommended reductions, number 1. Waive the fiscal year 27 cost of living adjustment. This was just for the town manager. And he just took a $10,000 cut plus his tuition, it becomes a swap out, that comes out of his pay. Reducing him again to further down to $108,750. So we did not support waiving the cost of living adjustment that'll come up in the fiscal year 27 budget for the town manager. We didn't think that was fair. Great. Yes, sir. Your name and up to the podium, and I should have done that. You should. Sorry, that's okay.
John, please. I just want to make clarification. This is the cost of living decrease, a percentage decrease is only for Brandon, or is that across the board? Or
It was only for the town manager.
Just the
Well, item number 2.
It's not entirely true.
Number 2, I'm recommending to reduce the cost of living adjustment for all town employees from 3.5% to 2.8%.
So it is across the board for all employees.
Right.
But there's two different things. Because number 1 says that he's waiving his entire cost COLA in 2027.
Right.
We didn't agree with that. But then yes, he's proposing that the previous cost of living motion that was made by me in this and was accepted by this board was 3.5. He wants to drop that back to 2.8, and that's for everybody.
Okay, that's clarification.
Thanks. Yeah, that's good.
What that does is it makes it consistent with the Social Security's cost of living adjustment at 2.8%.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, I'm sorry, Joe. Thank you for getting my attention. I'm totally.
That's okay. I'll hit the buzzer next time.
Yeah.
Has the budget committee gone over this and given any recommendations, considering they've been involved with all the budgets and have detailed information? I think it would be pertinent to have their input on this, even if they come in for a joint meeting with us.
So we have to schedule a special town meeting no later than Thursday. So I think we could have a joint meeting on Thursday.
Could we possibly,
Otherwise-
Thursday is only, yeah, we'd have to do
Well,
that.
otherwise, again, we're looking at tax anticipation notes and paying interest on operating costs. If we push the meeting out.
A little bit of clarity on where I'm coming from on that is seeing 2 budgets voted down. I've been watching a lot of municipal things. When I was a kid, actually, I used to do that stuff in school, a lot of town meeting stuff. I've never seen 2 general fund budgets voted down before. So to me, the townspeople are saying, figure something out, cut some stuff in here. And I just don't know if a 1.4% is, I hate to say it, I'm scared if that's even gonna pass at this point. The people of the town are under a lot of strenuous areas that are really taxed out. A lot of people, they don't have health insurance, they're struggling to pay their bills. People are hurt. They voice their opinion pretty hard.
Rika?
As I had mentioned at our last meeting, I am in the process of pulling together information on various tax relief programs that we hopefully will send out with the tax bills.
Your tax relief programs are great and all, but 2 budgets failed. That's a pretty strong sign to me.
And I have had the impression, and in the moment, I can't tell you because I don't remember where I got that impression, but that a lot of people are not aware, townspeople are not necessarily aware of what possibilities there are to reduce their tax
Well, I'd
bills.
love it for everybody to be able to get that on there. I'm just looking on the broader scope
Yeah.
of things, because there's a lot of eligibility requirements for that. You know, some people, they might make more than that's worth, but they're still tapped out. So I'm just simply raising the flag that a lot of people are tapped out.
Hey,
And I think they made that pretty clear to us.
we have a couple of hands up on Zoom. We have Dr. Murray and then Mr. Creighton.
Dr. Murray?
Thank you, Chair. So yes, I chair the Budget Committee, and I was grateful for the appointment along with the other 4 members. And you appointed us to participate in the budget process as representatives of the taxpayers. And so my question is, does the Select Board want the feedback of the taxpayers? And do you want the Budget Committee to hold a meeting open to the public to hear from them, get their feedback, discuss it, and then fulfill our other responsibilities, which is to assist you with ideas, alternatives? I would never presume to know what the voters wanted without getting their feedback and without giving them representation. So that's a question that you've not asked this evening, with the exception of Mr. Bublat, which is, what are the voters' input and feedback on this budget? Because you may find that it's very different than the town managers. No, the committee has not seen this draft tonight. It's the first time. Although I'm the chair, it's a committee process. So like all other committees, it's consensus. But we also, the most important thing to us is to have public members give the chance to speak and give their feedback. They did do that at the polls twice, and they voted no. And so I'm hoping that that is listened to. The other thing I would ask you is, you've discussed July 7th for voting. What is the minimum number of days to notice that hearing? And I suspect if you use a backwards clock and you look backwards on the calendar, you have more than ample time for us to adequately notice a public hearing of the Budget Committee sometime next week, so people know that the meeting is going to occur. My general observation is that when you're not giving a lot of public notice of meetings, then you don't get a lot of public participation, and then people are going to be less supportive. So those are my concerns. I'm available to support you. I'm delighted to call a meeting of the Budget Committee open to the public with Zoom, and ensure that at least half of that time is devoted to public comment before the committee discusses that and provides recommendations to the Select Board. Because, like I said, you might find that they're very different than the town managers. One of the lingering concerns was pulling money from the reserves to offset budget costs. And so this should be a little bit of deliberation. The Budget Committee should review the budget. They should go through it with the public, is my recommendation.
I agree with you. And from some other aspects, I disagree with you. Although public comment is absolutely necessary and required, there's also timelines we have to fit inside of here. So I'm going to ask you, with all of your concerns, how do you propose to meet those deadlines and those and the need? Brandon, can you explain the timeline perhaps a little better, so Dr. Murray can then respond to my question about how he's going to fit the timeline?
So typically, we've done 30 days in the past, and this gives us the ability to send everything to the voters of the town. I do believe there's another avenue, Dr. Murray, and also the board members here, where we can warn the special meeting in the paper, rather in lieu of sending it to all the voters 30 days in advance. Could I distribute that guidance tomorrow via email to the budget committee and select board?
What is the statutory requirement for public notice of special town meeting?
Could I give
I
that?
should know that, but I don't.
I believe if we put it in the paper, it may be 14 days, but I don't want to misspeak. I want to.
So if
I'm
you do
looking-
that, there's time to warn a budget committee meeting and still need that time. Can you do that?
We would just, instead of mailing the notices to all residents, we would put it in the paper.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
I would have to warn us against from putting something in a paper because people would have to be subscribed to that paper to get the notice. I think the least we could do is send out a postcard. Keep it small, we don't have to spend a lot on postage, maybe have a QR code that goes to it or something like that. I don't subscribe to the Valley News, so I wouldn't know.
So,
the problem with that is, let's say we're down to, if it is for, Dr. Murray, do you have an answer?
Yeah, I pulled up VLCT slideshow. It's called Legal Parameters of Municipal Budgeting. And on one of the pages, and I can shoot you the email, so just so you have it handy. This was the most recent one I found. It said budget basics, failure to pass. If by Australian ballot, we must prepare a revised budget, establish a date. It says in terms of days, the public informational meeting must occur at least 5 days following the public notice, and the vote must occur at least 7 days following the public notice. If the revised budget is rejected, the process must be repeated until the budget is adopted. And it references 17 VSA 2680. So I think you have, here's the thing is, I think you have, you can verify with VLCT tomorrow and check the statute, but I don't think there's a 30-day requirement. You might find that 21 days you could do a mailing and you could notice, and that way you're providing the public more ample time to have awareness and feedback.
and Brandon, at what point would you need to take, to draw a note to cover anticipation of taxes? If two things. Number one, either the meeting doesn't happen soon enough or the vote goes down again. And everybody needs to start to consider those costs. Because nothing, that's gonna cost money too. Everybody's worrying about spending money. Well, let's worry about spending money. Let's not waste money either. And I think there becomes a point where.
I think this also has to do with the ballots, Mike.
Yeah.
Ballots shall be mailed not less than 20 days before.
Ballots shall not be mailed.
Yes. So again, I think there's a couple of components to this, and I'd like to, Dr. Mike.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were responding. So.
I'm interested to see if he
Okay.
has further guidance.
Okay, you said Dr. Murray again?
Yes.
Go ahead, Dr. Murray.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I was just trying to look at the calendar to help brainstorm and help find a solution. And the
Thank
other
you.
thing is you have Fourth of July weekend, is really starts on that Friday the 3rd. So I mean, if at all possible, you can check dates tomorrow, but Tuesday the 30th of June is basically 5 weeks from right now, and so you might find that 21 days notice. And ballot wise, it's going to be a pretty simple one article ballot. Like that when we did the school one, for instance, the JPs, it worked very fast. It was just yes or no tallying and very easy to print. But I would just, my only recommendation would be if there's enough time for ample warning within the law, you probably could do this the week prior to 4th of July, so you're not messing with people's holiday plans.
Where do you want to go with the planning of this, Brandon?
I agree that the budget committee should review any revisions and Dr. Murray, we do not have a revised budget at this point. I made a couple of broad recommendations, but there was not a revised budget at this point. I'd like to take tomorrow to look into the timeline and send the board an email
Okay,
on what we would have to do in order to hold it on the 30th and for the week after the 4th of July.
and that's really where my disagreement lied, but Dr. Murray, it was just making sure that everybody understands that there is a timeline, a window here now that we have to work with, because we're gonna get to a certain day and we're gonna have to borrow money. And if you do that, it's gonna cost you money, so we have to try to work within that window and get it done. I wanna make sure that happens, and I certainly wanna give you the time to get there. Certainly want the budget committee and the taxpayers or the voters involved in this discussion, so we can try to get this thing through. You know, we're trying, we keep cutting, and hopefully we reach a point where people are willing to accept what we've done for this year. Because at this point, unless you're going to cut services, you're not going to save much more money. And I'm not sure you're saving money anymore, because every time you go back to the polls now, it's costing you more money. So I wanted to say that. Brandon, you have your time organized with the budget committee chair.
Mr. Creighton has his hand up.
Michael Creighton.
Yeah, I just want to applaud Joe for sticking up for the taxpayers that have voted this general fund down twice. Also, I have called to the powers to be to have a budget committee meeting before it was scheduled, and I really think it should have been heated, I guess. Also, I think there's a lot of people online that are now in the what no. If it was to go online and in some of these, like the Villages of Weathersfield page and stuff, it would get the warning out quick enough. And I know not all you like the social media and the Facebook, Brandon, but I think the budget committee definitely does need to meet and get some public input, have it be a public meeting, obviously. And I applaud Joe. That's all. Thank you.
I would ask the budget committee and you, Michael. I know you run one of those online sites. I don't pay much attention to it myself. But I do hear some things. Anyway, I'd like to hear, seeing how the people keep saying no, I'd like to see what they come back with for a number, what they would recommend us use as a number. And when we look at that number, and you know, I don't know what, I'm not even going to give a projection of what that might be. But if it's a whole lot greater than what we're already talking about, I want to know who it is they want to tell doesn't have a job anymore. I want some of that thought to go into what's going on your site and in those discussions.
Well,
thank you.
Okay.
No, I don't need a rebuttal. Thank you.
Yeah, of course you don't.
No, that's exactly right. I don't. Thank you. I asked you to do something. That's all. I think it's reasonable.
Dr. Murray has his hand up.
Dr. Murray?
Yeah, I understand, Chair. I understand your point, your concern, but I would just urge some restraint for everybody. We want to have a budget that people feel good about approving, and we want to have a budget that that it gets voted on this final time. But what I would say though is no voter or resident should feel intimidated, coerced in any way, shape, or form from anybody, especially, you know, whether it's budget committee, town officials, or town employees. People need to be comfortable voicing their opinions and being involved in the debate as voters and residents. So I would just say, I don't think I would ask people to say who should be fired. what I would say is, where are your concerns and where within the budget are your priorities? You know, and I think there's a harmony that we can get without making people feel like they're attacking anybody individually or attacking someone's job. So that's all I have, Chair. Thank you.
Well, thank you, but the point I made was exactly that it does come to that. And that is a reality. I don't like it.
And it will
It is
continue.
uncomfortable. And it's uncomfortable for those who, yeah, who are waiting for that decision. I don't like it.
I'd like to say it's uncomfortable for people that can't pay their bills and don't have health insurance.
That's,
We can go to the next topic.
yes. Anything else on the general fund from anybody? Thank you.
I raised my hand.
Oh, Sophia, sorry, it didn't come up very quickly because I was watching for it.
Hi, Sophia Lastic-Teitla. I just wanted to say that I understand the differing aspects of this. And perhaps the wording that we should be considering is, what services do you think should be cut? Or what services do you understand will be reduced by us reducing, and how much we reduce? Because I understand we're all feeling the pinch. And actually, the state is having the same issue, and the legislative session is still going because they don't have a budget yet. So anyway, I see both sides. We definitely need public input, and we need to understand where folks see where services, or where would they ask the town manager to be looking and the select board to be looking for those cuts.
Thank you, Sophia. That's pretty much what I was asking for. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, we're moving on. Special town meeting discussion.
Future agenda items, one.
Future agenda. Okay, I'm sorry. That we're still in.
Oh, I thought we were on number 12.
What's that?
I thought we were on number 12 too. Special town
Then
meeting back. Oh,
Okay,
you're gonna get back to us.
all right, so we're future agenda items is the next item on the agenda. Future agenda items. Is there anything to discuss on future agenda items other than what we just got done discussing, the scheduling that we're gonna be looking at?
And I'm gonna be putting, Rika has been so kind to help me in the office, with some filing. And as we're going through that filing, we're catching anything that required action between January onward. Okay, I get about 52 things on there.
52.
I guess we went well past the Z.
So, but it's still coming. I plan on releasing that to the board probably at the next select board meeting, so you can see where we're at.
Does anybody feel like this is payback?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Anything specific that anybody's looking for on the future agenda items this time? Hearing none. Appointments, Wayward Cole, John Harrison. Do I hear a motion to?
I make a motion to appoint John Harrison as Wayer of Cole, term to end March 2027. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to appoint John Harrison, Wayer of Cole. Any discussion on the motion?
How many positions are there for Ware of Cole?
I do not know.
Just have to figure out something.
We made it 3 a couple of years ago.
Can I make another nomination for Ware of Cole?
Do you have the application?
Got one, Craig?
Huh?
He was going for Craig for Cole. I mean, if we're doing Ware of Cole.
Well, we would have to have the application in hand, Joe, for that.
I tried.
I appreciate it. Motion on the floor to not, for John Harrison, wearer of coal. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Congratulations, John. I heard there's a truck on its way. Anyway, any other business? I forgot to bring it with me and I'm gonna have to now get this taken care of. I have a letter that I received at the last board meeting that I was supposed to get signed. It has to do with the solid waste reps. And Brandon is listed as the alternate on that. And I think that we kind of want to not have that. Right?
I don't mind being the alternate, she's the.
I'm the rest. She's the
I thought we were trying to take as much off his plate as possible.
As long as I show up, he doesn't have to.
Okay. I will sign
That's
it.
been very good.
Then I will sign it and I will send it in.
Before we go on to other business,
Well, hang on, we're on other business
well,
now.
before you go on from other business,
I gotta get through it first.
Okay.
and get done.
I thought you were done.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
That was sent to me and requires the signature of the chair. So can I have a motion to sign the solid waste reps?
Did we make those appointments already? I thought we did.
Yeah, the board already made the
We
appointment.
already did that.
You're-
signing all that.
So it's just signing.
Just signing.
Yeah, all set money.
All right, good. Then I'll sign it and I'll mail it back to you. Thank you. Very good. Now, Kelly.
what is this? Is this something we bring up on the other business?
No, we had asked
That
about.
was
that.
the question.
That was the question the board asked about the 1879 schoolhouse on the last warrant.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
I'm curious why we needed 3 sets of ceiling lights in the north classroom. Those are all brand new lighting fixtures in that room, and it's full.
I believe the sailing. I have to talk to Roderick Basin about that again.
And we had a meeting there the other night, 3 lights were out.
Yeah, correct.
Both of them.
This isn't to replace bulbs. This is addition of 3 sets of ceiling lights, separately dimmable, for a cost of $1,750.
There's no 3 light bulbs were out.
3 light bulbs better not cost $1,000.
I wish they
So-
did in my life.
Who made the decision that we needed new light fixtures in that room?
I'm gonna speak to Roderick Basin again tomorrow.
I have some questions on this too. Now we're in my ballpark and I know these things quite well. So on number 3 in there, under the entryway light, you have a motion sensor, light directed, blah, 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 $750. And underneath of that, we have parking lot, replace motion sensor light, $250. How the hell did the light cost $500 more?
In the
That's a
entryway.
ridiculous amount for a light. I'm just gonna throw that out there. And then also, underneath the thermostat in there, $250 to install a thermostat. I know the smart thermostats run about $100 somewhere in that area. My question is that boiler already equipped with a 24-volt transformer to be able to give it power? Because if it doesn't have that, it wouldn't be able to power that system. And then there's gonna be a cost for that transformer in there. There are other ways of doing that. To be able to save a little bit of money on it. I'm happy to give some guidance and help out with this if anybody would like that. I'm more than willing to donate my time on this.
this has already been done though, hasn't it?
Yes, the work has been.
Who directed this to be done?
Roderick Bates threw this on us to do, and I,
Threw it on us, who's us?
my office, me.
Was this does this come out of the repair line for the school?
Yes.
We have sufficient funds to cover it?
It's one of. Yes, we had sufficient funds to cover it. During the period from January to current, I delegated this work to Roderick Bates to assist.
But somebody must have complained about these items. I don't
He
understand.
had compiled them, and I'd like him to have an opportunity to speak about this.
That would be helpful. It's a lot of money on that north classroom is barely a couple years old.
Yeah.
An extensive amount of work went into that building.
And I know that the light bulb replacements were very expensive for those particular lights. But again, I'd like broader dates too.
Okay.
In defense of the light bulbs, I will throw this out there. There are LED fixtures out there that you can't replace the bulb in. So the proverbial $250 light bulb sadly does exist.
True.
Just to be the devil's advocate. I've ran across some in buildings before that are insanely complicated to change out for no good reason.
But this says to add 3 sets of ceiling lights.
Yes, I would hung up on that as well. I just wanted to be the devil's
I don't know how
advocate
you
on
can
the
put
light.
3 more lights in there.
I believe it's replaced, but again, I'd like broader dates. I don't have all the information on this.
Any other business? Warrants?
Can I just ask a question before I read them? Why do we have 2 warrants?
This is the last board meeting, the warrant at the prior meeting was read and not the last select board warrant, so you guys signed the correct warrant. But you,
But it wasn't read into record.
correct.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't rereading it. I reread the other one instead. Make a motion to approve the minutes of the warrants for May 11th, 2026. General fund payroll $17,578.67. General fund operating expenses $85,371.17. Highway payroll $8,633.39. Highway operating expenses $15,232.50. Solid waste payroll $2,245.78. Solid waste operating expenses $18,721.61. Library payroll $2,616.48. Library operating expense $300.30. Reappraisal $7,250. Grand totals payroll $31,074.32. Operating expenses $126,875.58.
Wait here a second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the warrants
For May 11th.
for May 11th. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the warrants for May 11th, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Make a motion to accept the warrants for May 26, 2026. General fund payroll $18,319.68. General fund operating expenses $35,494.03. Highway fund payroll $9,855.91. Highway operating expenses $31,417.34. Solid waste payroll $2,250.03. Highway operating, solid waste operating expenses $24,275.92. Library payroll $2,652.80. Library operating expenses is $0. ARPA for the Hoisington Field funds $8,620 for grand totals of payroll $33,078.42. Operating expenses $99,807.29.
I hear a second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the warrants, May 26, 2026. Any further discussion on the warrants? Hearing none, all in favor of the warrant, May 26, 2026, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion's carried, they are unanimous. Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair.
There's nothing else after the warrants.
I know, I forgot to add something on any other business.
Well,
Can I do it or not?
ask that now.
I'm just asking if I may or not.
What are you asking?
I was looking to be able to get job descriptions for the entire staff of the municipality. I don't need that right now.
I don't think we're putting that on anybody's plate right at this moment.
Okay,
Not right now.
I should ask for it.
You should, yeah,
Yep, that's fine.
yeah. Motion to adjourn,
So moved.
wait here a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good.